What is up? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Train Sim World 4. Alright, audio is all good. Audio is all good. I'm a little late on release day, but we move. Finally, release day. Not trying to do too much today. In all honesty, would love to have recorded a few more scenarios. But I thought, or I didn't think, I've been very excited for the DLC. It's been fun playing playing the routes as it is. Well, I say the routes. I've only played East Coast Mainline so far, and it has been fun. But I went on for like 5 minutes earlier to have a look at DLC, and it's looking good. There are some very interesting contests. There are some very fun looking stations, and I've only tried so far I've only so far tried the East Coast Mainline. I'm yet to even try anything else. However, I like to keep pretty much up to date with the DLC with layers and whatnot, and so I think for now I'm alright. I've got everything I need for East Coast Mainline, but I haven't got everything I need for... I'm not sure for the Antelope Valley, whatever it's called. I'm not sure what I would need layers wise yet. I need to go and check, but I know for the Vorarlberg line that you would need Niedertobon for one. And I know I haven't got that. But I don't think I'll make a purchase for now. So I'll probably wait until I finish the journey mode for East Coast Mainline. And then from there, see what's popping basically. Let me put myself a little bit lower. There we go, right in the corner. Is there anything there usually hard-wise? I don't think so. Whoops. Let's go back. There we go. Alright then. Let's go to home. Let's come back here over here. And yeah, let's run some East Coast Mainline. It is absolutely packed now, that DLC. I'm not sure. I know the stations obviously are a bit full, but I'm not sure how much traffic we're going to see on running the route itself. I don't know if there's any any layers that run alongside the sort of the main chunk of the route. But we're gonna find out. I know a lot of the layers basically start at either side of the line in game and then go off the map. But we have 1 Bravo 87. Why does this sound so familiar? I feel like we've done this before. Maybe it's on Bravo 81. 1 Bravo 87, Newark Northgate to London King's Cross. Of course, we're only going to go as far as Peterborough. You have a 5-car unit. First things first, let me go to God mode and set this. I don't know the perfect setting for that, but I set it to because I feel like that's from what the developer of the mod has said, the figures that we're given, that basically sits bang in the middle. So That's what we're going for, basically. And I think I'm just going to use that for... I think I'm basically going to use that for every route.
AWS and AWS operational.
Pantograph is up already. We're right on that side. But yeah, I've got the... Well, it should be the best looking version of the mod. Personally, I noticed pretty... I didn't notice too much of a change in the pictures showcasing the mod, but I did get the sense that the draw distance was a lot better. Well, I don't think I got distance. I think I did notice it, to be fair. Draw distance was much better. I felt like there was a lot more shrubbery on the side. Give me one moment. I want to make some changes very quick. Oh, I've just seen myself. Don't look too great. Oh, why does my face look so washed out? Oh, why does my face look so washed? At least my microphone works okay. All right, come in for a chat. Is that weird? Come on, have a chat. Why did my face look so blown out? No, that's cringe. I'll add release day. Exclamation mark for effect. All right. Let's go over to Twitch and change the title there. Why is my bookmark all the way there?
The show, really?
Nope. No. No. No as well. All right. Maybe I should get into... Maybe I should get into... Oh, that's wrong. It's in TSW2. Oh. So that was just there cash this whole time. Casually. Alright. That should be better. I'm hot as hell, boy. I really hope that doesn't come across my mic. I'm gonna have to listen to my stream and check. Got my little fan going. But if it's coming through to the mic, that ain't gonna be too good. Through to the mic. Nah, we're good. Alright, how about we just bloody get on with it, eh? Let's go. Alright. Insert the muskie. Muskie is set. Is that going to be bugged? No, it is not. Great. Let's close these doors. Why have I been kicked out of the seat? Wait. I haven't been kicked out of the seat. Okay. My muskie turned itself off. Alright, how about we get moving now? And I was sure I set the wipers as well. What's happened? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Okay. Maybe I am losing my mind. Apparent graph is up. Why have the headlights gone and turned themselves off? I don't know what's happened. I'm going to restart this route. A lot has gone on that I don't know why. I know I almost pressed the reset train option, but I cancelled it also. So yeah. Maybe we just shouldn't alt tab for the greater good. All right, let's start again. 1 Bravo 87 Newark Northgate to London King's Cross. We are only going as far as Peterborough, of course. Let us once again quickly set our skylight intensity. There we go. Make things just look that little bit better. Mask key on. Let's go straight to forward. Oh, I haven't even adjusted my let's send that off for now until I adjust my driver safety appliances. It seems to be chance what's on and what's not. That should be alright now. Alright, now let's get the master key in. Let's switch it to forward. Let's turn these headlights on to dim. Let's get these doors open. Let's clear that. Let's get our wipers on.
And AWS operational.
The joys of setting up a train. Set this to low. And let's have it heat, because I know people are going to be stepping in dripping. Not in a good way either. Alright, that looks to be all set. I'm still actually not 100% sure what is functional over here. But for now, everything I've tried to press has not yielded any results. So I'm just going to leave it there. We have a very quiet Newark Northgate. I also hope that the journeys have the full timetable running. I don't remember what route it was, but I know there was a route where it ran the reduced timetable. I do know what route it was. It was the Southeastern High Speeds when the Class 700 was introduced, I believe. And for some reason, Dovetail thought it would be smart to run that with a reduced timetable for the journeys without giving the user an option. Right, let's depart from Newark Northgate. We've got 14 miles to Grantham. Let's clear that. The objective marker. Clearing the yellow as we go past. Now we've got the full go ahead. We're going to be running on a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit very briefly until we move over into the main line, and we can pretty much give it the beans. I'm going to turn this up just a little bit on my headphones. Hopefully it doesn't affect the stream too tough. Let's try and slow the wipers down just a touch. I do wish maybe there is and I'm not aware of it, but there's not as far as I'm aware. But I do wish there was a reset button for the camera, so I wouldn't have to switch cameras back and forth just to set my camera right. So let's look at a lineup here. So from Grantham, we've got a 20-minute or so ride to Peterborough, where we will be calling as our final stop. The run's about half an hour in total, so fairly decent. We are going to be running maximum line speeds as for about 90% or so. I don't know why the DRA switch or light and the brake release on the TBWS are glitching out. Probably got to do with the I would assume the mod clashing with the recent update. I had a 2.5 gigabyte update. Now I'm not sure whether that's affecting anything that's already in game. Or to be honest, it could have been the previous update, the 54 gig one. Either way, that might be something we just have to live for now. I didn't have that issue earlier, but I also wasn't driving in the rain earlier, so it just could be that. I'm gonna try and mess around with God mode a little bit. Take this down to 0.30. I couldn't quit God mode. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, 7.30. We're still getting the glitching. I think 0.45 was the higher end where it's still happening. So you know what? I might just leave it. I might just leave it there as it is. Reset our camera and keep it going. I don't think it should affect any of the other routes as long as they're in the daytime. I want to say, but I'm not too sure. Alright, maximum line speed achieved. I really hope, I'm actually not sure at all, but I really hope that all the services on the journey are running the full timetable. This one should be, because it's literally just a regular timetable service stuck into the journey mode, as Dovetail love to do. This unit seems to do pretty well in the rain. I did a few runs in the rain, one of them being, or probably both of them were scenario runs. Hard braking, hard acceleration, there didn't seem to be an issue with slip. And I don't even think wheel slip protection was kicking in. I actually don't know if there's, yeah, we do have a light just to the left of the speedometer HUD, the little red button. I believe that lights up when WSP is active, wheel slip protection. Can't confirm though, of course. I feel like I might know why I'm so washed out. I'm hoping that's made things a little better. I've missed my Alright, I'm locked in. So yeah, I think for the majority of the time, we're just going to be seeing other Zoomers. And, or perhaps depending on the season, whoa, we're really suffering for quality here. %99 GPU usage. Is there something running in the background that I am not aware of? No, there is not. Alright, I don't know why performance just tanked all of a sudden. And now it's alright. That's interesting. Alt tab came back and the performance was alright. That was a weird one. What's my GPU at? Still going ham, to be honest. What's the heat like coming out of it? I've got an open case. Not that it's meant to be open case, but when you're tinkering and tankering, this is the life. It's actually because I've got an AIO and the radiator is too big for the case. 2 miles away, let's engage the objective marker just to give me an idea. You know what, it's a really weird one. I probably can learn to get by without using the objective marker. Or the, no, it's not stop marker, yeah, the objective marker. But I just feel like every time I try it, I overshoot or under. Basically, I just can't, without the marker being visible, physically visible, I find it a nightmare to stop on time. Just over 60% braking should slow us down enough. Maybe more than enough, but we'll manage it the closer we'll get. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of stuttering that I wasn't seeing previously. And I ran the whole scenario, albeit in clear weather, so I can only assume the rain is playing devil's advocate here. Oh, we got 158. We got a 158. Leaving Grantham. Alright, we're going to be arriving just, well, more or less actually a minute early. I'm not sure how long loading time will be. I guess we will find out. Performance seems to have flattened out a little bit. I really wonder where that burst of bad performance came from. A little bit short, but that's all good. That's an incredibly fast loading time, but then I guess it's because we're going to be here for 3 minutes anyway, so it makes sense. In that case, I don't mind, because what that basically means is if I was running late, it's giving me the option to catch up. A lot of the previous routes had passenger loading times that were ludicrously long. I think it was Rapid Transit that had some that were 30 seconds to a minute. I think it was a minute. Or 30 seconds anyway, somewhere in that region. And yeah, it didn't matter whether you were running late or not. You might want to open that, buddy. It doesn't matter whether you are running late or not. You're at the station stop for a minute. And because that was a previous route, a TSW3 route, that meant that there was no skipping stations. As far as I'm aware, I haven't actually given it a go. But as far as I'm aware, you can skip stations if you miss a stop. Keep going. I don't know the details of the working of that in reality, but I know that I've personally witnessed it happen in real life when trains are running late, and so they end up skipping stations. I sort of think this is a good sound for this. It's weird. And it happens to you regularly. It would be pretty cool if it was timed so that it would happen when, you know, a customer would stand here for a couple seconds, let's say. Then the sound would kick in. But right now, it just loops every few seconds. But you know what? It's a start. And like I said, like I mentioned in the first stream, well, not the first stream, but the previous stream, I wish and I hope that with details like that, Dovetail will be consistent. So we'll see more of that in routes to come. But I'm not too hopeful. Someone pointed it out in the forum, and now that I've seen it for myself, it's very hard to ignore. But the air pipes, the air hose cables, don't have physics applied to them anymore. So these cables here, you got this one here, and you got that one there, all throughout the train, they don't respond to movement like they used to. And for me personally, that sort of level of detail, I should say, was what drew me in, as much as obviously the trains themselves and the gameplay. I'm hearing something else. I'm hearing a diesel. Maybe it's just a car. Maybe it's just traffic on the roads. Maybe it's a transit van, but I'm sure I heard a diesel. Right, 4:07. Did I hit the wrong button? There we go. I think I hit them. I think I hit the open button again. Now, off to Peterborough. Due at 4:26. Arrival time. Let's get rid of the objective marker. Departing Grantham at 4:08. Speed limit of 115 to kick us off before we head out. How do I look now, by the way? I don't think I'm blurring out anymore. Yeah. Bit more true to life. bit of colour. Alright then. That is so handy. First time with an XLR mic with an audio interface, and I absolutely love it. Although I should probably get compatible headphones, but we're not there right now. And I'm someone who really needs a reason. Pardon me, I need a reason if I'm going to go out and purchase something. Could be a tenner, could be $1,000. If it ain't broke, I don't see a need to buy another one. I've been wanting a new monitor actually for a while. I purchased the one I'm using now. I do love it. It's an Asus PB model, I think, and it's done me a very good service. I don't have a single dead pixel. It's been about 7 or so years, I think. 7 or 8 even. Almost a decade of usage of very, I don't know what you would classify as hardcore usage, but nonetheless, I've used the monitor a lot. Never tempted to overclock it or anything like that. And it's just been solid. And I actually have no really solid reason to replace it. But I've been looking at OLEDs, not OLEDs, I've been looking at QD OLEDs specifically. I've been looking at curved monitors, the ultra wide monitors, and they're looking tasty, but I can't justify the purchase. It wouldn't make sense. I have a perfectly fine monitor, and the key thing as well is refresh rate. I'm stuck on 60, and I'm now at the point where my monitor's 4K, But I'm at the point where I'm thinking to myself, if I knew then what I know now, I think I would have gone for a 1440p 144 refresh rate. But at that moment in time, I wasn't really clued up on refresh rate and how much of a game changer that is. All I knew was 4K great, and so I went for a 4K monitor. That was literally it. I just needed my monitor to be 4K. I didn't understand TN versus VA versus LCD and LED and all of these. I just wanted a 4K monitor. And like I said, it's done me a service, and it continues to do me a service. It continues to challenge me because I don't want it to break at all. But I need a reason. I need a reason to get a new monitor. Performance is tanked again. All right, we're sorted. Right, so it's almost like the equivalent of a stutter, but just low performance. It's just like a constant low performance. At the very least, though, I think I can comfortably say I know that it's related to the engine file rather than the game itself, because the game is running completely smoothly. Of course, so that was before all the layers, but nonetheless, I don't believe they would have had the effect that I'm seeing anyway. It seems a little bit too extreme. If I'm being honest, I'm just thinking about the fact that once they become available, I will be loading this girl up with mods, and so I can only hope that performance stays reasonable. I'm not sure I've got the metrics there. Right, I'm using 9 gig on my graphics card, 9 gigabytes of VRAM. Now that's a considerable amount. That's a considerable amount. And I'm using 16 gigabytes of regular memory. Wow. That's half. That is half of my entire system memory being allocated to Train Sim World 4. You know what? I love it. I love it. I know there are a lot of complaints about performance, but I have a pretty fun time. To be honest, I am running a super high-end system. I want to say super high-end, actually. Super high-end system, I would say last year or 2 years ago. So I'm not too surprised. I can't be too surprised. But nonetheless, I have heard that even on high-end systems, there are stutters and there are issues. But thankfully, I think I'm good. And I'm running the I tweaks of the Beyond Ultra settings. So yeah, this system's getting pushed very hard. What are my temperatures sitting at? All right, actually, not too bad. 70 degrees on the GPU, 70 degrees on the CPU. Honestly, an AIO, especially on a 5800X3D, absolute lifesaver. Absolute lifesaver, no question about it. Once you get to a certain level, it's hard to see performance jumps just by making 1 or 2 changes. But the change that having an AIO has made is ridiculous. If I'm going to be honest with myself, you guys are seeing the gameplay at 30 FPS, so it doesn't matter to you. You're not going to notice what I noticed. I don't think anyway, except for the hard frame hits. But if I'm going to be honest with myself, I don't think I'm running the full 60. And it's alright when I'm looking down the center of the windscreen, but as soon as I take my attention over to the sides, it seems like there's just a little bit going on. So I would say probably running average around the high 40s to mid 50s. But I'm not going to turn on an FPS counter. Anyway, we are halfway through our journey to Peterborough. We've got 14 miles to go. Looking good for time as well. The next scenario on my list that I'm due to tackle is going to be a freight service. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. I'm also not sure what these yellows are about. I don't know if it's the whole like dispatcher thing. But I don't believe that we've got a train ahead. Certainly not on a lot of the scenarios I've done. And I keep having these yellows, but I can only assume it's a dispatcher thing. That would be my best guess. Actually, to be honest, I'm yet to even go through the whole list of changes. But 54 gigabytes is a huge amount. A huge amount. And that was loaded in before any of the DLCs came through, so... What's that coming our way? It's another Azuma. Heading down to Grantham. Maintaining our speed pretty nicely. Again, I would love for there to be some sort of cruise control. I don't know if I'm missing it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was somewhere on the screen. But I feel like if I can't find it with my keyboard shortcuts, then I'm definitely not going to find it looking for it manually. I didn't realize, but at least the DRA flashing issue and the brake release on the TPWS, the glitch that was happening earlier seems to have sorted itself out. Freight is definitely going to be interesting. I'm actually very much looking forward to it. Alright, are these yellows going to stick? Nope. It's kind of annoying as well, because I'm taking the risk of flying through both yellows. You know, if I'm going to stop reasonably at a reasonable pace. I'm taking the risk of that because of this, because they just constantly keep changing. Because earlier, yesterday at some point, I think it was the day before, I would slow down each and every time and then realize I've just wasted my time. Can someone let me know what a flashing green means? I know a flashing orange is approach control, stop control. But I'm not sure what a flashing green means. As much as my graphics card is being pushed to its absolute VMAX, I'm not complaining. I don't see a point when I'm playing a game and, you know, it's not running. Let's say it's not running for me personally. I've got 60 Hz monitor. It's not running at full settings, 60 Hz, and then I'll take a look at the usage metrics, and my graphics card at 60% or 70%, or the CPU is, or both of them are, and it's like, right, so clearly there's power left on the table. I'm requiring more and you're not giving me more. Why are you stunting me? Stunting my experience, stunting my enjoyment. So you know what? It can run at 99%. I'm not even mad. Like, I paid for 99% of my, well, I paid for 100% technically, right? I paid for 100% of my graphics card. I want to use 100% of my graphics card power. Right, just under 2 miles out. Let's set the objective marker. I'm going to start slowing down here because these are going to be legitimate yellows, one would assume. And I'm going to stop all the way to 80%, which I know is very, very hard. But we've left it a touch late. We should be alright though. We should be alright. Thing is, I do wish on the track monitor that stations were marked out. Not necessarily the name, because I feel like that would take up too much valuable space. But literally just a marker, a line, a different color, a different type of line, just to signify a station, because now I see the red on the track monitor. You know, but I'm not a maths genius to the point where I'm gonna be able to calculate, all right, the full thing is 1.25, that's about a quarter of the way in. So I'd rather for sure know, okay, that signal is going to be before the station or after the station. We've slowed down a touch too much, but it doesn't really matter. We're literally, as of now, 3 minutes early. So we're just going to slowly guide her into the station. I don't believe we're going to be stopped by TPWS. We should be alright at this speed. I need to figure out what the limit for TPWS is. To sort of avoid... We've got Class 700 beside us. To avoid penalty braking. This is actually my first time seeing the Class 700. I didn't actually own the DLC in TSW3. So arrival at Peterborough 2 minutes early. Let's get these doors open. One thing I do want to do is drive this train. I've taken it enough times. Just that iconic spaceship sound. Yeah, I've taken it enough times in reality. And I wasn't necessarily one of those that was ecstatic with its arrival, but I'm definitely excited. So I'm actually surprised myself that I didn't go for it on launch. But then I was doing I was going through the services in a very particular order, so my OCD meant I wasn't going to use it for a long while. So what's the point in spending money on it? Even when it was, when it had a deal on it, which to be honest, was a pretty decent deal. How far did I get through Rosalind? Yeah, this is crazy, man. The fact that I've only done 10, and wait, hold on a second. How many runs were there in the first one? I know I've done more than 10. Interesting. Maybe my profile didn't move over properly, or maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Anywho, we'll deal we'll deal with that another time. But for now, we've got all platinum here. Zooming around. Right, pretty lengthy service. This is going to be a full line run. Right, 1 November 8-5 from London's King's Cross to York. Let me just have a look at something very briefly. All right. Sweet. 1 November 8-5, London's King's Cross to York. We'll be picking it up from Peterborough and taking it as far as Doncaster, of course. First things first. I feel like the movement, I wish the movement in cab and just throughout the train in general when you're on foot was just a touch more stable, a touch more calmer. I wish it wasn't the exact same speed as it is outside the train.
EWS and AWS operational.
Let's turn this up to about 20. I'm thinking 21, but let's keep it at that for now. I can't wait till the speed, your speed gets implemented into the HUD. As a matter of fact, let me do a quick plug. It's been a little quiet here. Let's do a quick plug. I really can't wait for the speed limit to be implemented into the simple HUD. Only because, where's the share button? I do want a bit more simplicity. I do want a bit more simplicity than you know, the big chunk on the bottom right of the screen. All right, man. But for now, I feel like we ain't got much of a choice, so we'll play the hands we've been dealt. But yeah, I really do wish it was implemented in. I don't know where the heat's coming from all of a sudden. All right, let's get these doors locked and let's be on our way. I believe everything has been set. We're good to go. As per usual, let's clear the objective marker. So we're going to be limited to 25 as we head out of Grantham. What class of train does the Stansted Express run? And why am I seeing a lot of 66s all coupled up together? Is that normal? I know in London I've never seen anything like it. I haven't visited many yards and random sidings, but I've been paying attention to it all my life, and I've never seen. I took a screenshot earlier of about 6 Class 66s all joined up together. That was weird. To me, that's weird, because you won't get anything like it in London. And with it being in the timetable, I don't feel like it's some sort of Easter egg or fun thrown in. I feel like the devs would leave that for a scenario, or just leave it to us. Now that we've got an editor, now that we've got free roam, we've got opportunities galore for chaos. But there was genuinely about 6 or 7 Class 66s connected, and I don't know whether that's a normal thing up north. Or was it replicating a sort of delivery run of 66s, or where damaged units being hauled? I don't know, but I've never seen anything like it. What I have seen, however, in real life, and I'm enjoying seeing in game, are busy sidings. Plenty of them. Now, why does it seem like we're back in the early days of TSW3, where it's just raining all the time? Dynamic weather doesn't seem to be very dynamic. We've got a bit of blue above us, but that doesn't seem to be doing much. I was thinking to myself earlier, I was running a scenario and dealing with these yellow to greens constantly. And I thought to myself, how fortunate, and I guess I'm yet to find out whether this is an occurrence on the Austrian route as well, the Austrian-German route. But how unfortunate would it be if I was dealing with this on a route that had PZB? Imagine being slowed down every single time, just for the signal to go green anyway. I guess you could get away with it by clearing PZB yourself manually, although I'm not sure, number one, what the implications of that would be in reality, and 2, I think there are certain parameters under which you would be able to turn off PZB PZB speed restriction. But yeah, I really do hope it's not a thing on other routes. It's annoying. I would understand it in a scenario. It's always made sense in a scenario. And again, maybe it could be a thing that somehow is a thing in reality, and I could just be getting this all twisted. But it just looks odd to me that I'm being shown yellows, whereby I know there's not a unit ahead of me. I'm really warm and I don't know why. It could be my graphics card, to be honest, pumping out heat. As I said, I've got an open case at the moment, so it could just be my graphics card pumping out heat. At least I get to save. Whoa! At least I get to save money on my heating. Come Christmas. They got me. They got me. We did have blue skies. Jesus. We did have blue skies for a bit, but that no longer seems to be the case, unfortunately. I'm glad they've adjusted the audio a bit. Definitely getting more of the training cab. As much as I would love to use the speedometer, the in-train speedometer, this is my perfect position. And it would just be a bother to me to have to keep going, looking down, ensuring. I guess I could just adjust it like this. But then I wouldn't be able to see my braking pressure. Or my braking force. Which, if I had a rail driver, I would probably be okay with it. But I don't. And also, when I tried to make a change to the HUD while I was in game earlier, the track monitor went all funny and displayed every speed limit on every line in the same area, so all the numbers were overlapping each other. Now, I don't know whether that was specific to that particular run that was just bugged, or whether that was a wide thing. But I think I'm better off not touching that at all. And also gradient. Gradient's a big thing to lose. I don't think I could do away with both the gradient. The speedometer I could live with, but the like my braking force, the gradient indicator, that would be a sore loss. It would be amazing if I had like another monitor with a map on it, and that map was like live tracking my train, and on that map was all the information, stations, signal positions, crossings, and gradients, then at least I'd know sort of what to expect. Right, just under 10 miles now left to Grantham. It's been pretty uneventful. Seeing a couple freights, seeing a couple passenger units, seeing a 158. Was it this run or the run before that we saw a 158? I'm not too sure. But I'm going to do this run and call it a night, I think. I've got, let's call it important business to attend to early tomorrow morning. I did want to come on earlier. Probably wouldn't have made much of a difference. I do consider using this FOV, where you really get a sense of speed, but I just feel like it's a touch too far back, and it just doesn't feel natural. If there was something between that field of view and this field of view, then I think that would be absolutely perfect. But for now, I think I'd rather use this one. Got a 115 miles an hour restriction coming up. Just over 5 miles to Grantham. Performance has been holding up fairly well on this run. I feel like there's not really a need for the speed limit indicators on the track monitor to go red as you approach them. It doesn't do much. Because by the time they go red, you could be not within a chance of stopping because of how short a time it gives you. I guess it's better than nothing ultimately. Because as I'm trying to think of an alternative, I'm not really getting an alternative, and I'm someone who, if I'm going to criticize something, I feel like an alternative should be produced. But I actually don't have one in mind, other than just leaving it, I guess. But then again, I feel like that's just something really petty if I'm just going to say leave it. Two call 158. Let's hit the objective marker for good measure. You know what? I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to keep it off. And Let's see how I do. Let's say that 60% braking range. I wonder what the comfortability limit is in terms of braking. Because I like to go for 60. 60 is like my go-to, but I feel like that might be a bit too much. But I actually have absolutely no idea what the range for comfort is. Doesn't seem like we're going to do too badly. Usually I prefer to enter stations a little... Actually, no, that's a bit right. I like a 30 miles an hour, sort of 25 to 30 miles an hour. That's what I like to aim for. Right, let's do this without an objective marker. How far off am I? Okay. Not as bad as I thought. Not as bad as I thought. Still quite a way away. I could have held off on the brakes just a touch more. Where's the stop marker? I didn't see a stop marker. Let me have a quick gander. Right, let's have a little look. Did I just miss it? Or are you just meant to know? Or is it... That's a platform number. I would assume you're just meant to know as a driver. I'm used to a lot of the southern England routes that will actually display the stopping point. However, I think this is the stopping marker. This right here, which is the stop marker. So what DG Dovetail have implemented is a little bit off. The thing is, with me personally having the stop marker off, I did actually have it off for a while when I was playing Train Sim World 3 before I stopped. And I found it was during the time that I was running a lot of German trains, a lot of German freight. And if you've driven German freight on Train Sim World, then you know they're not the most forgiving of train sets. Not in the slightest. And so when you don't know exactly where you're meant to be stopping and you're relying simply on numbers, it can make things a bit difficult. I didn't have the most fun of times. And with all the save game situation and no checkpoints being present meant that if you went past red, went past danger, yeah, you're going to start that baby again unless you manually saved. And then if you manually saved, you then run the risk of loading up to a broken save game. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm all for realism. But I think I'm gonna play it safe. I don't know, I just see like a physical... I guess that's why a lot of people use the stop marker. For me, I absolutely detest the stop marker, and I detest the fact that it's forced upon you every time you run a train introduction. I hate it. But if people like it, and I've seen people use it, I've seen a lot of streamers use it, I've seen a lot of YouTubers use it, and it's like, okay, cool, that's fine. I haven't got an issue with somebody else using it, I just can't use it myself. But with an objective, it's an objective marker, right? Not a stop marker, it's an objective marker. With the objective marker, yeah, I need it. Especially when it comes to like when you're on foot, or when you need to press a button in the cab that you're not familiar with. It does show its usefulness. But when it's just clean like this, I mean, I'm already using the HUD on the bottom right. That's doing enough on its own to break immersion. And I really can't wait for the speedometer to be brought up onto the simple HUD. But then to have that on top, I felt like it just made things a lot more cluttered than they needed to be. Alright then, off to Newark. I'm yet to see any northern surfaces. Now, I'm not sure what end of the route they work on, whether it's the Doncaster end or the Peterborough end. But I'm yet to see any. Got a 158 pulling up. I really would love to have a route map open. Like, I'd love to know where the diversions go, or what certain sidings are called. I'm really intrigued to see not only what people can make in the route editor, and I'm so happy it got released on day one, but I'm also looking forward to how quickly things can be released. I think that'll be a good indicator of sort of what to expect. If it's going to be weeks before anything shows up. I mean, to be fair, right now there is an ongoing issue with it anyway. What a surprise. But I really feel like how quickly people can make content will determine. You know what? To be honest, if the content that comes out from the route editor is absolutely quality, then I think the time only matters so much. I think even a quality route, and I guess this is subjective, but I guess I would say even a quality route or a quality logo, I'm talking real quality, can take too long to come out. I know people are saying with the Just Trains route that's coming out, the Blackpool to Ormskirk route, I know people are saying that, you know, like, it's alright basically if it takes a while to come out because it's going to be amazing quality. But now let's say they've released all the pictures they've released, said everything they've said other than release info, and then said that release will be in 2024 for an example, or let's say the latter half of 2024 or even 2025, because quality, right? I don't think people would be too happy. And I'd love to know what the people that do push for quality takes time would say, because I think everybody has their limit. If a developer came out and said, hey, we're working on a route, these are the levels of detail we want to, you know, get bang on, it's going to take us 3 years. Would people turn around and start saying, you know what, that's amazing, but how about you knock off this thing and this thing from the list and have it take only 1.5 years or even 1 year? I think people would make that trade-off, because then at least if a developer shows enough passion for the work, you can trust that they'll come back to it after a while. But of course, it's all theoretical. You know what? I'll give a special mention to the rain mod as well. That's making a huge difference. The rain that comes by default is terrible. Actually terrible, and actually hurts immersion. Because it just looks like elongated snow. And from what I remember, it also looks very cartoony. I actually haven't seen it now, I'm thinking about it in a while. The base rain. Just bring the power down a touch. I love that level crossings are looking a bit more... They got a bit more substance to them. I'm thinking back to that very infamous one on the Brighton main line. Not much to praise. But so far so good. But then again... there's a whole thing about... Right, it's a new route, it's an introductory route, it's a route meant to insensitize, or whatever the word is, you to purchase the game. And so they're going to make it of a certain quality. I just hope that this quality sticks. If Daltok could be consistent with this quality and then also add things back like physics simulation on the cables, I think TSW4 will be a winner. Knowing that TSW5 will come around, yes, but nonetheless, I think they'll be onto a winner. These yellows are really taking me for a run around. You know what? I'm really going to give running without stop mark without the objective marker a go. The only thing is it deviates my attention from what's in front of me to the HUD. But then I think that's a fair trade-off, getting rid of something that's literally right in the middle of the screen. One thing I haven't seen that was an infamous bug from the previous iteration was cars crossing level crossings, even when they're closed. And I'm yet to see that. Coming in a little too hot, I think. A little heavy on the brakes. A little bit heavier on the brakes. Alright, let's smoothen it out as we get closer. Will we actually stop at the stop marker this time? I think so. I don't know whether I should just ignore the stop marker altogether. Not the stop marker, sorry. Not ignore the stop marker. Ignore the objective marker. Doesn't look like the weather's going to clear up anytime soon. I've always wanted to step on these, I'll tell you what. I've always wanted to step on these. I wish they had them at underground stations. I'll tell you what, the textures are amazing. The track itself, not so much. But if you look at the platform, and other than these spikes, everything on the platform, the surface, just everything about it. The wear on the signposts. I'm a fan. I'm also glad there's at least a little bit of wear on the unit itself. That's not something that we were seeing for a while. Every unit was like brand spanking new. But I'm sure give it a bit of time and a weathering pack. A weathering pack will come out. We have the Passengers of Doom. The passengers who seem to look like they need a train, but will not utilize the train in front of them. What do we have here? You know what? To be fair, they could be waiting for the Edinburgh train. So let's just say they're all waiting for the Edinburgh train. If there's going to be York services, surely they could have added that little bit extra to York and done the... Well, it wouldn't be the whole run, but at least it would be the majority... At least you've got one endpoint. It's better than none. That kind of sucks. Although I'm actually not sure how long it does take from Doncaster to York. But nonetheless, it's a high-speed track, so... I don't feel like it would have been too much to ask for. But yeah, let's just say that all these passengers are awaiting the Edinburgh service. What have we got here? So what lines come here then? Is it actually not too sure. I don't think the East Midlands services operate here. Alright then. How about we have a little something different? Oh, it is an East Midlands service. Fair enough. Right, anyway, next station, Retford, 17 miles away. We are due there in 12 minutes time at 4:48. Whoops. Excuse me. We got a little bit of sunshine streaming through. I hope I didn't just miss a whistle board. I don't think so. I'm not seeing any sort of crossing. Wow. What's the wow for? Welcome. 3.5 miles out. The graphics are partly due to a mod, Master Chief. I can't see what else you're at because, oh, there we go, and the trains look cool. Yeah, the graphics are down to a mod. I'm running a modded game file. That's why the graphics look good. I'm glad it's coming through on stream. Slowly approaching Retford now. Can be a little easier on the brakes. You know what, let me go to minimum braking. We've got it pretty much under control at this point. We've got a single yellow, but we've got another yellow ahead, so I'm not sure why that yellow is a single yellow. Unless there's a meaning behind it. I haven't tried the Antelope line. No, not yet, Master Chief. Have you got the game? Have you tried it yourself? It's going to be my next one. Once I finish the journey run for this, it will be my next next one to try. To be honest, I would have tried it tonight if you would have wanted to. But I've got an important meeting tomorrow morning, and it's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. at the moment in the UK, so yeah, I'm gonna need to get some sleep. So as soon as this route is done, I'm going to be flying off. But I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, 100%. So if you're about and you want me to give it a go, I can give that a go. It looks like a very calm route from what I've seen. I know there's not much traffic. It's more of a sort of laid back, chill route. I don't think it has any layers. I'm not sure if any layers run on it. But yeah, the trains look pretty good. The scenarios look pretty fun. Right, Retford Station. I'm always hearing some sort of diesel something going on. I'm assuming it's judging by what's going on here. It's meant to be some sort of works going on. This route is the East Coast Main Line, Doncaster to Peterborough. This was a route that was very much anticipated by everyone, and was unfortunately let down just a little bit. Nothing wrong with the diesel. It's just that I'm hearing what sounds like a diesel generator coming from, coming from somewhere.
TPWS and AWS operational.
It's coming from here. Where's the sound coming from? It's coming from inside this building. But it sounds very much I'm hearing a plane, but I can't see a plane. It sounds very much like the train when it's on diesel power. This train has an option to run on diesel power as well as electric. Right, we're going to be sitting tight for a while. We've got something sitting in these sidings. Could just be some wagons, to be honest. Yeah, a couple wagons. Nothing exciting. Yeah, Master Chief. It's either the trucks, or that building's meant to be like a factory of some sort.
May I have your attention, please? Closed circuit television and remote video monitoring is in use at this station. For
These
your
benches are
personal
cool.
safety and security.
I always seem to find like these funny little details. What does the newspaper say? Is coffee the new water? Hilarious, and they've got a little picture of the guy at the cafe. I think it's a pretty nicely detailed station. This is just a Sainsbury's ripoff. This has got Sainsbury's all over it. Again, I can only assume these guys are waiting for the train behind, the Edinburgh train. I know this is a collectible. I know the newspapers are a collectible. I'm going to set a time where I'm just going to be going after the collectibles. Nothing behind us for a while. Right, I've got 15 seconds to go. I tried train sim towards collection. I loved Peninsula Corridor, Master Chief. I loved that route so much. And there was a bug where I'm going to be quiet for a second while the train leaves the station. But there was a bug that meant the game kept crashing. You'd run for about 10 minutes and the game would crash. I don't know if they've fixed it yet. Maybe they fixed it, maybe they haven't. But I haven't visited the route since. But it's one of my favorite routes. One of my favorite routes. I love Peninsula Corridor. That's one route I really want to go back to. I know there was a problem with loading some of the services on. I'm not sure why it keeps crashing, Master Chief. I think it's just one of the several things that were wrong. I know there are still a lot of things wrong with the game, but at the time, that was part of that time's issues. As far as I know now, they have fixed it. I haven't tried the route myself yet, but they've said that they fixed it. There was just an issue with the Baby Bullet services, which is a DLC for that route. It wouldn't show in the timetable, so when you'd go to drive the train, it wouldn't come up. But they said that they've also fixed that, so I guess we'll check it. I'll check it out after this. We've got one more stop to go. We're only 15 miles away, 12 minutes away from Doncaster. And I'll take a quick look. I won't make any runs due to time, but I will check and see if the services come up. The normal trains that came with the route were fine. It was just that particular DLC, the Baby Bullet, which added in a fair few services and made that route alive. I remember when I would run it, and it was just those services back and forth that actually made the route feel alive. So I do hope they fixed it. I know there was a mod for it, but of course you can't use the mod if you're on a console. So it's something Dovetail had to have tended to. And I hope they did. So dynamic weather hasn't dynamicked at all. Whether it was this run or the run before, we've had rain throughout. So I'm considering probably when I come back on stream tomorrow, if I encounter rain again, I'll probably have to manually change the weather using the God mode mod. It's just that I don't want to interfere with how things have been set up already. But if I'm left with no choice, then I'm left with no choice. I may have to actually travel. I'm not sure what the fastest train is, because even this train, even as it's running at 125 miles per hour, it's limited by the route. And as far as I'm aware, even if the route had a higher speed limit, I think the train is still limited electronically. But I think this train, if you take off the limiter, it can hit 180 and further. But I would assume the LGV, the French train, only because in real life, I don't think it was that exact unit, but it was a similar unit that, as far as I'm aware, still holds the world record. I could be wrong, because I know that was a long time ago. The TGV, yeah, thank you, Jack. So I'm assuming it still holds the record, right? But is that what we have in game, the TGV route? Okay, cool, the France route, yeah, then I guess so. There's actually a route I haven't gotten to try out yet. I downloaded it only because it was a layer for Southeastern High Speeds, and I don't mind seeing it at St. Pancras, and I know it's not the most realistic layer because it's meant to be like a Eurostar, but it does the job, I guess. Or am I thinking about the ICE? Yes, a couple more people are joining. Welcome. Towards the end, but you're welcome regardless. Right, less than 10 minutes away from Doncaster now. The yellow signal should clear. The main circuit breaker, Jack. Go into a little more detail for me, mate. What exactly is your issue? And I'll give it a go here and see what we can do before we head out. Me personally, I haven't encountered any issues. I get on the train, turn on the safety systems, headlights, HVAC, and just get going, really. I don't think I've messed with the circuit breaker at all. let me know. We'll try and sort it out. If any, and then if I can't, then we'll take it to the forums. The power goes out. There is a neutral section. There is a neutral section on this route, but it's a very, 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 very small section. And usually, from the runs that I've done, you're already traveling at fast enough speeds that the train just reconnects. So if you're having an issue, what platform are you on, Jack? When you, after you close the main circuit breaker, do you raise the pantograph? PS5. Okay, I'll bear that in mind. But do you raise the pantograph? It's here. This blue button here. Because it could be that when you lose power, the pantograph comes down, and so you might need to manually raise it again. Okay. Do you know where the circuit breaker switch is? I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere there, right? With the safety systems. Let's finish this run, and let's give that a go quick. Let's see if we can help you out. So you're saying as you're traveling, as the train is moving like it is now, the power will just cut off, and you turn the main circuit breaker back on, nothing happens. Yeah, but to be fair, Jack, it's only one small bit, so I'd be surprised if it keeps happening to you. That maybe it may be a bug. I don't want to say it's a bug. It could be a bug. It could be, but I don't want to say that just yet. Alright, I'm going to be heavy on the brakes because otherwise I'm going to be penalized. Although, to be fair, if I was traveling in a car and it was slowing down at this rate, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's a problem now. And I just pray we don't go past the red. Because we've been penalized. This is going to be really tight. I can't see the signal yet, so I think we're alright. We'll be alright. Just... I know, Master Chief, a little bit late. Thank you for the warning, though. At least we get a nice view of some 66s. Alright, let's put it in neutral. Let's force the brake release. Put it back and forwards. Clear that. Acknowledge that. Brake release. We're good. We're not good. There's a 60-second timer, so you gotta wait a minute. You're good. So I got penalized, Master Chief. There's a safety system called Train Protection Warning System, or TPWS. That's what this little section over here is for. And currently, I don't know how well you can see it on stream, but the overspeed light is on because I was going too fast as I was approaching a danger signal, a red signal. So what I have to do now, wait 60 seconds, which might be up already or not. I'm going to give it about 20 more seconds. Press the brake release button, and we should be allowed to go. But it's basically a safety system to stop you from going past a danger signal. I think I got penalized yesterday at the same one. So Jack, don't worry, mate. It's not you, it's me. Alright, I believe that's been 60 seconds. Yep. So hit overspeed button. That's reset our brake pressure. We've cleared our little warning. I don't even think we need to press the brake release button. I think we're good. I'm going to press it anyway. But I don't think we needed to press it. You know what? I'm just thankful that I'm not... Give me a moment. I'm thankful that I'm not on a German route with PZB. Otherwise, we'd be running a very silly restricted speed. You know what? PZB, as annoying as it is, I do love it. I love the challenge, and I love the fact that it's so German. It's such a German thing. So Jack, I turned it on. By default, it is isolated, I believe, but we're gonna double check it now anyway, because I need to check this circuit breaker thing. But by default, I believe it's isolated. All the safety systems on every train, on every route, I believe, are off by default, just to make it easier for people who are new to trains, new to the game. And it's like, if you know what you're doing, you'll know how to turn it off. So all right, and that is Doncaster. No worries, mate. No worries, Jack. Let's get these doors open. Let's release our passengers. Doncaster is absolutely chock full. So we've got the Class 66 waiting to depart with some wagons. We've got part of a 158. We've got another 66 all the way there in the corner. We've got a part of a 158 here. We've got the HST. We've got some wagons. Yeah, just a lot going on in Doncaster. A lot going on. All right, then. I feel like we've gotten a gold. We got platinum. Platinum are very easy to get at the moment. I think they'll fix it. So let us go to... Let's go to the main menu. So let's see if we can help out Jack, and then we will sign out for the night. Time is flying. Let's go to trains. So I'm just going to pick a random timetable service. Let's pick this one. Completely random. Yeah, this is what the rain looks like by default. Without any mods, that's what the rain looks like. No comment. No comment. All right, cool. So, Jack, this is what I've had like the whole time. Obviously, you get put in the driver's seat when you start a timetable run. I haven't started anything by foot. All my runs I've started by timetable, right? So I turn on ETCS, which is off by default. DRA is always on. I turn on SDO. AWS is on by default. TPWS, which is... All right, Master Chief, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for stopping by. It was nice having a chat. TPWS, I turn on, which is what stopped us in the previous run at the very end. Vigilance, I turned that on as well. And DSD, I turn on. And then I sit in the seat and turn on the lights, turn on the air conditioning, whatever. So the main circuit breaker, I would assume would be here somewhere, right? In the fuse box. Or not. Yeah, everything on. Yeah. It can be a bit of a challenge. So just make sure you're aware of what everything does, so you don't get confused when you get into a pickle. So I'm not seeing where the breaker is, Jack. Ooh, I haven't seen this. This is sweet. It's a little kitchen. Nice. All right. I don't want to give up control, no. But I know, Jack, if you want to start a train from off, let me see if I can turn it off. I'm not sure if I need to hold it. Okay, the train is now off. Screens are all off. Everything is off. The train is completely dead right now. I don't know if the pantograph comes down automatically. Okay, the pantograph is still up. Not a problem. Regardless, the train is now completely dead. So what you want to do, you want to come here and aux on. Aux stands for auxiliary power. You want to click it and hold it for 10 seconds. So I'm going to wait for the timer to get to about 16 or 17. And can you hear it come on? You hear like a little electric whir come on. So now as you can see, the screens are on. This screen and this screen are on. And again, you want to make sure the pantograph is up behind this little blue button. This engine start is for the diesel engine. So don't worry about it unless you want to use diesel power. You want to press diesel and then engine start. And then yeah, you'll be alright. Master key on. Turn that on. Put the reverser forward. Clear any alarms.
And AWS operational.
And you're good to go. Bob's your uncle. There you go. Also, so I'm going to run through that for you again. So put the train to stop. So you want to hold this blue button here. Let me shut this off. So you want to hold this blue button for 10 seconds. Okay, cool. So you know how to activate diesel, cool. But yeah, you want to hit aux on for 10 seconds and you're good. And make sure your pantograph is up. If it's still not working or you're still having issues, go to the start menu. And when you're sat in the driver's seat, under overview, you have an option called I'm stuck. And this basically resets your train. So if your train is bugged for any reason, I'm stuck will reset your train. Click it, you press yes, it resets your train. And I think that's it. So if you're still having issues, I can only assume it would be a bug. So yeah. You're good, my man. You're good. You're very welcome, Jack. Glad I was able to help you. I hope that does fix your issues and you can enjoy the game. But if not, then I would say either ask on the forums or put a bug report. But I'd say ask on the forums first. There are a lot of helpful people on the forums. And yeah, man, hopefully they can help you. But boy, it's 2:30 in the morning right now. I need to get up early, so I'm going to be hopping off. I'm aiming to be back streaming tomorrow. Can't tell you the time. So just follow and subscribe and hopefully you can catch me. But thank you, Jack. Thank you, Master Chief. Thank you, everyone else who's joined. It's been a pleasure. I hope to see you all soon. Enjoy the game. I would recommend it if you haven't bought it yet. But of course, it's completely your decision. And I'll catch you soon. So thank you all once again. Have a lovely night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. It's been a pleasure.